The night carried a strange stillness when Clara whispered, "Don't stop," and the rancher heard only the echo of his own fear answering back. Eli Mercer had lived his entire life misunderstanding silence. On the plains, silence meant danger. In the barn, it meant something had broken. In people, it meant pain that had learned not to scream. Clara's voice came to him the same way the wind did through the cottonwoods, soft but urgent, and he froze because every instinct he had told him that stopping was the only way to keep from causing harm. He had spent years building a reputation as a man who knew when to step back, when to walk away, when not to cross lines that couldn't be uncrossed. That night, though, the line blurred. Clara had come to the ranch seeking refuge, not romance. At least that was what he told himself. She was running from a past that clung to her like dust after a storm, a past she never fully explained, but carried in her eyes, heavy and unspoken. Eli had offered her work, a room, quiet, nothing more. Yet over weeks of shared meals, long evenings by the fire, and the rhythm of chores done side by side, something unspoken grew between them, something fragile, something dangerous. When Clara finally broke that silence with those words, Eli misunderstood, not because he didn't care, but because he cared too much. He thought she was asking him to stop the moment, to stop the closeness, to stop whatever emotions were rising too fast for her to control. He stepped away, heart pounding, convinced he was doing the right thing, convinced restraint was kindness. Clara watched him retreat and felt something old crack open inside her. Not anger, not shame, but the familiar ache of being unheard. That night didn't explode into drama or passion. It collapsed inward, quiet and devastating. They went to separate rooms, carrying different versions of the same moment, each convinced the other had chosen distance. Eli lay awake staring at the ceiling, replaying her words, wondering if he had failed her by staying true to the man he believed he was. Clara lay awake too, realizing that sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is ask someone not to stop, and the loneliest thing is when they do anyway. By morning, nothing had changed on the surface. The sun rose, the cattle needed feeding, coffee steamed on the stove, but everything beneath had shifted. That misunderstanding planted a seed that would grow into consequences neither of them could yet see, because some moments don't reveal their meaning until long after they pass. And as you keep listening to this story, remember, sometimes the quietest nights change lives the most. So if you're drawn to stories that linger and matter, make sure you subscribe and stay with us. The night that changed everything didn't announce itself with thunder or confession. It unfolded slowly in the days that followed, as Eli and Clara moved around each other like strangers, who shared a memory neither dared to name. Words became careful, glances brief, the easy warmth between them replaced by something brittle. Eli told himself he had done the honorable thing, that misunderstanding was better than regret, yet doubt crept in with every chore, every shared silence. Clara, meanwhile, began to see the ranch not as a refuge, but as a mirror reflecting a pattern she thought she had escaped, the pattern of being strong enough to survive, but never heard when it mattered most. She worked harder, smiled less, and planned quietly. The misunderstanding hardened into distance, and distance into decision. One evening, as the sun bled red across the horizon, Clara told Eli she was leaving. No accusations, no explanations, just a statement heavy, with finality. That was when the truth finally surfaced, not through her words, but through his realization that stopping had not protected her. It had abandoned her in the moment she needed him to understand. He asked her to stay, not with promises or declarations, but with honesty. He admitted he had misunderstood, that fear had guided him more than listening. Clara listened this time, really listened, and understood that Eli's greatest flaw was also his greatest strength. He was a man who believed restraint was love. That night didn't end with a dramatic reunion, it ended with clarity. Clara stayed, not because everything was fixed, but because something real had finally been named. The ranch didn't magically become a place without pain, but it became a place where silence was no longer mistaken for safety. Their relationship shifted, not into something perfect, but into something intentional, and the true change revealed itself months later in choices made differently, in moments where Eli didn't step back out of fear, and Clara didn't whisper what she deserved. She said it plainly. The night had changed everything not by what happened, but by what almost did. Some misunderstandings don't destroy, they teach. And as this story closes, remember, the moments we get wrong often shape us more than the ones we get right. If stories like this, slow, emotional, and unforgettable, resonate with you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because the next story might change something in you too.